So if you're a manager, I want to describe what it feels like to be in a downward spiral towards lack of accountability and lack of performance on your team. So say something happens, the market changes, products change, whatever, and your sales start to slow down on the team. Next thing that happens is reps start to make less money, right? Less sales, they don't know exactly how to navigate things, so they start selling less, they're making less money, and now they're getting a little stressed. So because they're stressed, they're working less, they're making excuses, and they're saying things to you like, oh, I just don't have enough money this week to pay for gas, but once I get paid on Friday, I'll come back out to the field. Then the manager starts to get desperate. So manager tries out an incentive, but because you've got all of these people that are already doubting themselves and struggling with their numbers, you're not setting the incentive from a place of positivity and buy-in, you're setting it from a place of desperation. So you don't prepare as well, you set up really high, expensive prizes, so people have something big to shoot for. Then because people are not performing, and they've got this low to basically zero buy-in, you get desperate again, and now you're like, okay, that incentive didn't work, I'm gonna try one-on-ones with my team. So you pull all of these people in that haven't been performing, and you tell them if they don't hit XYZ numbers, you're gonna have to make some changes to the team. So the energy is even lower because you're coming from a place, again, of desperation, not truly trying to develop them, but trying to get your numbers back because now you're losing out on your override, your compensation, you're worried about your role, your life's getting harder. And so the big thing happens here, you guys, where after you put that in place and the energy is low, when the time comes to get rid of underperforming employees and team members, you don't do it. The manager suddenly doesn't fire low producers because they're scared that they're going to lose out on more production. But what happens when that comes up, right? It's not like everyone that you gave a second chance to suddenly turns everything around. No, unfortunately, the team now knows that they can slack off and you're not going to fire them. So what happens? The cycle starts over. You start over because now they know, oh, they can slack off, their sales decrease even more, and you try to bring on new people telling them, oh, we need to do XYZ a month, 5 sales a month, or you're on a performance plan, but they're surrounded by people that are doing 1 a month, 2 a month, 0 a month, and they know that they can't take you seriously, so their numbers start to fall off and you lose those people. And that keeps happening unless you change the behavior. So what can we do to prevent or fix a downward culture spiral and try to rebuild the team? Well, all of that momentum is going to come from 2 things. Number 1, you need to put preventative measures in place, systems, experiences, etc., that create the type of experience that's going to keep someone around long term and have them perform well. And then you also need to course correct any behaviors, issues, etc., that the team is having so that they've got a clear starting point to start moving forward with. The preventative systems that I like to put in place at a company are broken down into 4 parts. So my 4 systems are your new hire system, your accountability system, your performance system, and then your leadership development. So what does bad accountability look like within a team culture? It's going to look like low or inconsistent sales numbers, a team with low energy and poor morale. You're not sure who's there or not because people are on the leaderboard, but they're not really showing up. But every once in a while, they put a deal in. People are showing up late to meetings, late to the field, coming up with all of these excuses why they can't work a full schedule for you right now. There's a lack of feedback on the team, both from the leader and then peer to peer. People are worried about trying to give each other feedback that they're going to say it wrong or that the person won't receive it well, and it's going to hurt their mindset, which just causes a weaker version of the relationship between everybody on the team. It can lead to lack of ethics on a team because if you aren't holding them accountable to better business practices, but they want to hit their numbers, get paid for sales, they might start getting those sales in a bad way. And then last is it's going to cause high turnover on the team, but poor accountability causes a specific kind of turnover, and that is turnover of your higher level team members. So if all of the good people are leaving and starting their own thing or going to another team or doing all of these other ventures that are not working with your company, it might be because you are not holding them and the team accountable. Because what happens when you're not holding your team accountable is you are not even holding them to the standard that they should be performing at today, let alone developing them into a version of themselves that you and they want to become. So let's say right now I'm a rep that's doing 10 accounts a month, and you come to me and you say, hey, Alex, I've been watching you. You do a really great job. I can tell you're really hungry for growth. And I think that you could start being a 12 or 15 account per month rep. What do you think? And then we're having this conversation like, wow, I didn't know you thought of me that way. What do you think? What changes do I need to make? How do I get there? And you set up a development plan with me on what changes I can make, what sort of support system we can put in place in order for me to start to grow. That's what keeps me around, and doesn't only keep me around, but knows that I've got a long-term play here for development. So when managers shy away from holding their team accountable, you are completely missing the opportunity to actually develop them into better versions of themselves, and that is when people leave.